Calibrating cybernetics.
Talk to him now.
AT, Andre.
Come on, Dre.
Yep. Trippin with Let's Go. Woo! Trippin with Theobold.
What's your name?
Theo so bold.
Yeah.
Driggity. Let's go. Trippin with Theobold. Trippin.
What are we doing?
Trippin with Theobold.
Come on, Dre.
See, mic check 1 2. We on? We good? Can y'all hear me? Let me just do a little sound check real quick to make sure we are good. Let me make sure I am good. Yeah, we good. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the 86th episode of Trippin with Theobold. I'm your host, Andre Theobold, and welcome to the show. Before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, because we are going to go in on it today. Let me go ahead and just plug this on my live or on my Instagram live. Give me 1 second right quick, because I keep meaning to do this, but I don't. And just give me 1 quick second. Do this right quick. Camera all foggy. I don't know what it is, but I got a pet peeve about my camera lenses being foggy. You know, like I don't like posting foggy stuff on my there we go. That's a little better. Real quick. Hey, what's going on, y'all? The Wizard of Oz is behind the green curtain. Tripping with Theobold. I don't like that. Sorry, guys. You know, that's part of my problem. I'm like a perfectionist when I do this. Discard this. Here we go. Hey, what's going on, y'all? The Wizard of Oz is behind the green curtain. Come tune in to Trippin with Theobold. I'm on right now, live and hot. I don't like how that sounded, but whatever. Okay. All right, whatever. That's what we're gonna do. Because you know we gonna grow. This is about growing. That's what we're about to do. I gotta get the link for the damn page. Link right quick. Going. Link. My channel. Live. How do I get? Share. Copy the link. Boom. Did that. Now we are going to. Here we go. Here we go. Boom. Paste. Done. Boom. Now it's on my stories. Now I'm official. Okay, cool. Hey, sorry about the wait, guys. You know, so as y'all know, I was supposed to start the show about 28 minutes ago. So my apologies. But I had some people come through to look at my air conditioning and my stove, and they came right when I was starting my show. I was like, man, I thought they were going to come a little later, but they came early, so I had to deal with that. So first off, my apologies. But nah, so as you guys, let's go and get started with the show. As you guys know, I am a huge Buffalo Bills fan. It's in my blood. That's all I know, essentially, is Buffalo Bills. But as you guys know, I like to start my show off with a Buffalo Bill of present or past. And for today's episode is tied to none other than Mr. Dalton Kincaid himself. Let me get the nice if you have a visual to see what's going on with it. Here we go. Visual. I'm all over the place this morning, afternoon, wherever you guys are tuning in from. Here we go. Dalton Kincaid. No, don't delete that. Here we go. And then go iPhone. Dalton Kincaid. There he is. Oh, I had him up there for a second. Oh, okay, there we go. We are good. Boom. Dalton Kincaid, Buffalo Bill he's our newest Buffalo Bill. I'm happy with the pick. We picked him in the draft this season. He's from Utah, tight end. And I like the pickup, man. It's a dope pickup. I think he has the potential to be one of the top tier tight ends in the NFL. He can be up there with Travis Kelce, or he can be up there with a who else was big last year, like Mark Andrews, And I like the pick because as you guys know, Gabe Davis I think is in a contract year, and I think Gabe Davis is gone. So I hate to disappoint all my Buffalo Bill fans, but I think Gabe Davis is gone, after the season. And he's kind of a how should I put it? From what I've seen on the tape of Dalton Kincaid, what I've seen is, he's more of a receiving tight end. So, I mean, if you look at Gabe Davis is a receiver, but he's not like super fast, but he's pretty big, like pretty like lengthy, So I think this is kind of the replacement for Gabe Davis moving forward. I think we're going to see a lot of 2 tight end sets, with Josh Allen and the Bills, which is going to make his job a whole lot easier. So I'm excited about the pick. Can't wait to see what happens, but it is what it is. So today's episode is tied to number 86, Dalton Kincaid. So now we got to move on with the other part of the show. We got to do these tongue twisties. We got to get the mouth brain connection going. We got to get the mouth brain connection going. I'm up here sweating. Goodness gracious. But we got to get the mouth brain connection going. So today is June 9th. And, we're going to do the 9th letter of the alphabet, which is I. So you can read along with me, or you can watch me struggle while I read through my tongue twisties to make sure that my brain and my mouth are synchronized. So there will be less trippage on Trippin with Theobold. So here we go. Read along if you want. Number 1, kick Kip, keep Kip's kin. Kick Kip, keep Kip's kin. Kick Kip, keep Kip's kin. Lead led deal. Lead led deal. Lead led deal. Fix Mike's kite, feed Meg's hen. Fix Mike's kite, feed Meg's hen. Fix Mike's kite, feed Meg's hen. Pick 6 beaks, seek big peaks. Pick 6 beaks, seek big peaks. Let's do that one more time. Pick 6 beaks, seek big peaks. And the last one, mixed men met Mike's team. Mixed men met Mike's team. Mixed men met Mike's team. And now we are done. Tongue twisties are done. We can check that off the list. Done with that. We can go ahead and move on to the next part of the show. First of all, man, I want to give a shout out to oh my bad, got some pictures up here. My bad. These are pictures from the Chocolate Sundays comedy show last Sunday. These came out on the website. This is the us in the green room. We're having like a little roast session behind the show. So it was an epic roast session. I didn't get any roasts off because nobody came at me. I'm the type of roaster where I'll wait for someone to come at me. So while the roasts are going on, I like to load up. I like to make sure I load up. So that way when people come at me or come my way, they know, hey, look, when I come, like there's an art to roasting. You just don't, a lot of people that just jump in, they typically don't have good roasts. But those that sit back and wait, and they're analyzing the room and they're already like loading up on their roast, those are the people that, actually come through and dominate the roast session. So I didn't get any roasts off, but it was a funny session, man. Oh man, it was hilarious. So shout out to Bree. Bree's a photographer. She captured this moment where we're all in here, man. Just man, we laughing our ass off at this joint, man. All the roasts were just funny, you know. But anyways, man, shout out to yeah, I want to give a shout out to come on, Dre. I want to give a shout out to the Nightcap. It's a venue out in I believe it's in Burbank, I think. It's a venue, dope comedy venue. My man Kazim Rahman put me up last night. Definitely appreciative, you know, so shout out to him. Nah, man, it was a fun night. You know, I got to work out or do my old material, you know. I got to do my old stuff. Got to stretch out for a little bit. Did about 15 minutes, you know. There's some things I could have worked on, you know, and did better on, but I had fun, you know, that's all that matters. But once again, man, shout out to my man Kazim Rahman, man. Kazim hooked me up with this spot. And hopefully I have more spots to come there in the future. So yeah, shout out to Nightcap, man. Dope venue, dope room. And then let's see, next week I will be heading to Europe. Actually, next Sunday. So actually this Friday coming up, I'm flying back to Maryland. I'm gonna catch up with my mom. And then on Sunday, we are going to Europe. Going on this tour to see the path that my grandmother took during her service in World War II. So that's going to be like super dope. You know, we're going to basically go to all the towns and all the places that she went through as part of the 6888 tour. So yeah, looking forward to that. It's going to be a dope trip. So there will be another episode of Trippin with Theobold next Friday, but for 2 weeks I will be gone because I'll be in Europe. I might live stream. I might try to do something. I don't know. No guarantees, you know. But nah, it's coming up. But then when I do get back, which will be the first week in July, that's when I am going to do a special episode of Trippin with Theobold of with my trip in Europe. I'm gonna have a lot of photos to go through, a lot of stuff I'm doing. So you guys aren't gonna want to miss that. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the main topic. Before I get into the main topic, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, do all that fun internet stuff. And I got to do one thing. I forgot to do this. I got to go back and I got to add my YouTube chat in to see who's checking in on little old me. And, you know, right now, no one's checking in, but that's cool. I did start the show late. You know, that's my bad. You know, so... You know, but it is what it is. I just want to make sure that I don't miss anybody when they chime in on the chat. Let me go ahead and do this. That. Boom. Okay. Okay, I should have did this before I started the show, so my bad. People. Here we go. Oh, no, I don't want that. Here we go. No, where's there it is? I want this. That. And YouTube makes it so difficult to add the damn chat to OBS, man. But whatever, it is what it is. We got it added. No more complaining. We are here. So, excuse me, man. So today's episode is entitled Racial Confusion. All right, today's episode is called Racial Confusion. So, why am I talking about this? All right, like first off, I ain't trying to start no shit. But I feel like in today's society, I feel like, you know, I have to be the one to hold up the mirror to just address certain shit that's out there, you know? Like, I'm not trying to make nobody feel bad, like, you know, but when things don't make sense, I try to make sense of them, you know? So here we go. So social studies failed us. You know, social studies failed us, right? Like, I feel like we took all these classes, we learned about all these different cultures and all these different things, and we're up here calling a tomato an orange, and because people's feelings or emotions are wrapped or they feel a certain way, we have to say, hey, even though we see that that's a tomato, let's go ahead and call it an orange just so we don't piss people off, you know? So living like that to me is very complicated because it's like improv, right? Like you have to learn the rules of the game, and then you have to, like, within that, you then define rules within the scene, and then you have to play within that scene, right? And that's why I guess I'm kind of antisocial, but that's me, whatever. But what made me talk about, or what made me come up with this topic for today, you know, racial confusion, is I saw that new Spider-Man last week. You know, I saw that Spider-Man movie last week. It was cool. I enjoyed it. You know, I like all the Spideyverse or Spider-Verse movies that they're coming out with. But as I was watching it, you know, we got to talk about Miles Morales. You know, Miles Morales, you know, I would be, well, this is where the confusion comes in, right? So I think it would be safe to say that, you know, Miles Morales is black, but this is where the confusion all comes into play, right? Yeah, he looks black, you know, last name is Morales. He speaks Spanish. It'll be interesting to see how Miles Morales categorizes Miles Morales. It'll be very interesting, right? Because, you know, I think you'll see a lot of young black kids out here with the Miles Morales costumes for Spider-Man for Halloween. And someone's going to say it, like, it's going to come out. Someone's going to say, hey, Miles Morales isn't black, you know? And then boom, that's where the confusion is going to get really confusing, right? You're going to see people come out and say, you know, he's not black and all this or whatever. But I've been around enough people, I've been around society enough to know how people want to be categorized, right? For example, in Major League Baseball, right? You have a lot of people in Major League Baseball, or not a lot, you have a good number of people in Major League Baseball that look like me. They're from another country, right? They're from like Dominican Republic, they're from Panama, they're from wherever, but they'll be the first ones to tell you, I know black. I know black because I speak a Spanish, right? I know one of you, right? I'm telling you, man, like when it comes to that Miles Morales conversation, that's going to happen. I'm telling you, because his mom, you know, he identifies as being Puerto Rican, and we're going to get to all this because that's why I said social studies failed us, right? She's going to come out. She says she's from Puerto Rico, you know, or that's her nationality. And they make it a point that she speaks Spanish. And, you know, I think Miles Morales speaks some Spanish in there. But what the trick bag is they don't really say like what his father is, right? Because his father's last name is not Morales, or I think it's, what is it? It's Davis, I think it is, right? Let me just double check to make sure I'm not talking crazy. Well, if I'm talking crazy, it is what it is, because it's Trippin with Theobold. So yeah, so Miles Morales' dad is Jefferson Davis, right? So they don't really tell you, like, so in the household he's the father, but he might not be the biological father, right? And everyone's like, oh, it's a kid's movie, leave it alone. Like, why do you have to get into all that? You know, we put you on the screen, aren't you happy? Well, yeah, we can like say all that, but then when black kids start dressing up like Miles Morales, you're gonna see the Latino community come out and say, hey, he no black. Miles Morales is no black. He speak a Spanish. He no black. Why? I'm telling you, it's gonna happen, right? So that's why we have to that's why this whole episode is called Racial Confusion, you know? But like I said, I'm not trying to take away from the movie. I'm just putting a point out there where while I'm watching the movie as a black man, these are the things I'm thinking about. I'm like, okay, Jefferson Davis, or the dad, okay, what is he? Is he foundational black American, or is he Dominican too? Because he was trying to learn how to speak Spanish, but that might not have been his heritage. He may have been doing that because that's his girlfriend or whatever. Like, they never really clarify what the relationship is between Jefferson Davis and Miles Morales' mom. You know, like, yeah, they love each other. They're in the same house, but you know, are they married? Are they gonna get married? Are they engaged? Is that his seed? Like they don't really get into all that, you know? Um, so here's the thing, man. When it comes to like race and all this stuff or whatever, you know, I hear a lot of times I hear the term or people say black and brown got to stick together. I don't fool with that. You know, when I hear people talk that black and brown talk, motherfucker, I run. I run and I run far and fast. I get away from that because either the person that's saying it thinks I'm ignorant or they think I'm stupid, you know? Because the name of the game when it comes to all this racial confusion is it's bad to be black. Don't be black. Get as far away from black as possible, right? That's the name of the game. Right? A lot of people like it sounds fucked up, it sounds messed up, you know, but it is what it is, you know? Like I'm just calling a spade, you know? Like everyone says like it's politically correct to say, oh no, black is no, we're all equal and no, all this stuff or whatever. But the actions and the behavior show that, you know, like it's not cool to be black, you know, or get as far away from being black as possible, you know. So when I hear that black and brown talk, I run. Like I don't engage, I don't waste my time with those conversations because I met people who look like me and they're cool, hanging out, having a good time, you know, and then whenever there's some sort of opportunity or something that's in it for them to be black, it's cool to be black. Hey, yeah. Hey, man, yeah, we black and brown. Hey, we black. We all mixed in. But the moment it comes to like the bad side of being black, people, those same people will find every excuse, every reason to get away from being black. Like they start hiding behind their flags. They start hiding behind their language. They start hiding behind their culture. It's like, dude, you know? So, I don't know. So here's the thing, right? I remember specifically, I was hanging out with some people, or you know what? I met a couple of people that are from Egypt, right? Or that classify themselves as Egyptian, you know? And, you know, some of them even looked like me, you know? But when it came down to identification, it was real funny how they were real funny about how they identified, you know, or they were real funny about how they said they were not black. You know, like when it came to all the positive benefits of being black, they black, you know, or they didn't say nothing. They just kept quiet. But the moment you start looking at the negative aspects of being black, that's when they started saying, hey, I'm not one of you. Damn, all right. Shit, I didn't know. Right. And you got to be careful with people like that because like I'm not going to say what they know or don't know, but I know that when I get around the police, I have a certain like code of conduct, you know. When it comes to the police, like I said, I'm not a fan of the police. Like I respect their power, right? But I do not fool with the police, you know. Like I know what I am to them when they come around me. And I know how to behave when I'm around, like when they come around me. And I don't like behaving that way, but it is what it is. When they come around me or when they capture me, I'm a POW. And my goal is to make it to the precinct in one piece alive. Right. So I had a situation when I was in Vegas a few years ago. I got detained by the police. Right. And, you know, they said I fit a description. Right. And this is where the whole race thing comes into play, right? Because when it comes to race and all that shit or whatever, cops don't give a fuck about nationality. You know, they don't care about if you speak a Spanish, right? They don't care what flag your country is from or your flag. That if you look like me, you have to know how to behave. You have to know how to conduct yourself, you know? So, when I was in Vegas, I got detained by the police because they said I fit a description. It's actually a funny story, man. But I mean, it's not, at the time, it wasn't funny. Like, but now it's kind of like, I'm looking back, I'm like, oh, this shit is kind of sad. But Yeah, man, I was coming out the casino. I was coming out of the Mirage, and I just put a bet down for the Super Bowl, and I think I put down like $50 on this improbable bet, and if the bet would have came through, I think I would have won like $1 million or like a couple. It was something stupid, right? I like doing little crazy bets like that when I go to Vegas, right? So like if I would have hit that bet, I would have probably hit like 1 or 2 mil, right? So I'm walking out the casino, and then as I'm coming out, I'm walking towards I'm walking towards Caesar's Palace, and then as you know, before you get to Caesar's Palace or in between, there's the shops, right? There's the Caesar's, they're the Caesar Palace shops. So I'm walking towards the Caesar Palace shops or whatever, and see a cop on a bicycle like ride towards me, and I'm trying to get out of his way because I'm not trying to like, you know, disrupt any kind of police work, right? So as he's coming towards me on my path, you know, I try to get out of his way, but he slows up. And I'm like, he gets off the bike and I'm like, hey, what's going on, officer? You know, and he said, you want to tell me? Right then and there, I said, oh shit, they think I done did something. So let me just go ahead and, hey, nigga, you captured. You know what I'm saying? I'm a POW right now. So then there's one guy jogging behind him, and, you know, they basically asked me about, you know, my whereabouts, and, you know, anyways, long story short, like when the police come around me, like I know I'm captured. Like I know I'm just my goal is to just make it back to the precinct, right? So we can get this all hashed out, right? But there's a lot of people, like when people don't see themselves as being black, or if they hide behind their flag or their language, when you hang with them and they don't think they black, the cops come around, they might shoot all y'all up. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm very careful about like hanging around, you know, people that look like me but say they ain't me, you know? So like I said, that whole black brown shit, man, I don't even fool with that, man. You know, and then like I said, it's like weird. It's like everyone everyone knows what is politically correct. Like I feel like the world is just one big corporate America, and we have all this like corporate America like training. You know, it's like we all know what the rules are, but we abide by the rules in front of the camera or in public. But then in real life, it's like, nah, nigga, you not real. That's bullshit. You know, like for example, even like Cardi B, right? Like Cardi B, when she comes around, when she's like around black people or black culture, she's like real ratchet, you know, but then when she's around her Latino culture, she's very like respectful of that, right? So those are little things that I pay attention to, you know? So where else am I going with this? Let's talk about how people classify. Like here's one thing that's kind of like, I don't want to say, I mean, it's a pet peeve of mine, but it's like, it is what it is. Like my thing is like, why do I have to be a color where other people can be something else, right? Like I don't mind being a color, like I don't mind being black, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, why do I have to be a color where everyone else doesn't have to be a color? You know? So for example, let's talk about Asians, right? So it's like, to me, it's like, you know, that's a very broad term, right? And in some situations, you know, when it comes to like when you want to identify somebody or what some like, so you can actually identify somebody or whatever, you want to know what they look like, you have to, like, you can't use Asian, right? That's very vague. Like, for example, if I said, look, there's a person named Joe who's Asian, meet him at such and such square. He has $1 million in the bag waiting for you, right? And then you get to the square and you see 5 people around you. You're not going to ask, hey, are you Dave? Are you Dave? Because now people, it's like, if you're looking for Dave, you know Dave has $1 million, right? So you have to be very, very specific in identifying this person for that. I know that's an extreme case, But it's like we have to have a way to identify and describe people so you know who it is you're looking for if you're trying to find them for whatever purpose, right? So for example, you know, and there's the thing, right? I have no problem with saying that people that who look like Bruce Lee are Asian, right? I have no problem. Like if that's how they want to be identified as, cool. I'm not going to put up no argument. I'm not going to put up no fight. But look at the flip side of that, right? Like, what if I got tired of being called black or got tired of being called a color, right? And now, what if I said, you know, or what if all black people say, you know what? Hey, man, we not black no more. We North American. Most people will laugh in our face. They'd be like, man, get the fuck out of here. Nah, man, you black, you know? So people identify us because, or we get a label on us, or we get labeled that way so people know how to, we get labeled that way, or it's just, I don't know, to me, it's very, the trend I see is when it comes to black people, it's like we have to be super classified or super identified so you know exactly who we're talking about. But everyone else is like, they're just this. You know, I'm just Asian. I'm European, right? But, you know, black is like when it comes to people, I feel like the darker you are, the more descriptive you have to, the more descriptive society is on us so they can point us out, you know? So, and I mean, in the day, do I have a problem with that? Yeah, but I get it. You know, it's like, those are just the rules of the game in the fucked up world we live in. What was I gonna say? So, y'all was gonna get into race and flags, right? So, so the reason why I say that social studies failed us is because you got people thinking that people conflate race and flag, right? Race and flag are two different things. All right. And when I hear some people talk, it's like I get turned off, you know, like that's just a pet peeve of mine, right? Like I had a girl I dated a while back. And I don't know, it was just really, I used to just hate hearing this. It just really just got, not hate, sorry. It just used to really frustrate me because I'm just like, this is very ignorant talk, right? Like she just doesn't know. And, but it's like, what happened, man? So she tried to describe someone as being Jamaican. She was like, oh, yeah, so-and-so, he's Jamaican. I'm like, what the fuck does a Jamaican look like? Oh, you know, he's your complexion. He has a Rastafarian accent. He has dreadlocks. Yeah. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, man, that's the most ignorant shit. Like, that shit is ignorant to me, man. You know, because that's a, like, when someone's is Jamaican, right? That's a nationality. That's a flag, right? Now, yeah, there are a lot of people that are black that are Jamaican, but you could see someone over there that's white that speaks the same way they speak, and you know that comes from there. And there's even been some YouTube channels where people came across like white people from Jamaica, and they had them on their YouTube, and they're up there talking to them, and they're like, they're talking and they want to hear the dude's accent, but they think it's fake and they think it's funny. They think it's a joke. And I'm like, dude, it's like, you're just not cultured. Social studies failed you, right? You're a dumb American. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, you know? It's like, that shit to me is hilarious, yo. I know that's harsh, but it's like, here's the thing, man. You don't know what you don't know, but it's like, when at some point, it's like people have to choose to be, there's ignorance and then there's stupidity, right? If you're ignorant, you just don't know what you don't know, right? But if you're stupid, that means that you refuse to learn what you don't know, right? So when I see people willingly make the same mistake because they just don't want it to be another way, I'm like, well, fuck, are you stupid, you know? But I was fortunate because I learned about race and flags at a young age, man. Like I think I was like 9 or 10. And I was in Barbados one summer, and I was underwater, dove in the water or whatever, and I like to swim with my eyes open under the water, so I got the salt in my eyes, and my eyes were all like burning or whatever. And I came up, and I was trying to get the salt water out of my eyes, and while I was getting the salt water out of my eyes, I heard all these Bayesian people. They all sounded the same, so my assumption was they were all black and they all looked like me. But when I opened my eyes, I saw a white dude. It was a white dude. I saw a brown dude. I saw different shades. I pretty much saw like almost every race of person represented, speaking the exact same thing that sounded the same, So at that point in life, I got it. I said, oh, Barbados is a country, right? People can change, or people of different races can flock and come into and fro different countries, Like, for example, if two people, this is like another kind of side point, but if two people that, let's say if me and a female that looks like me, that has the same complexion, well, not looks like me, because that would be kind of weird, but let's say that if a person like me and a female with the same complexion from the US, if they moved to Germany and had a seed in Germany, what is that kid? Right? End of the day, racially, that kid is black, and from a nationality standpoint, he's German. Right? But a lot of people don't really take the time to really think about all that. They just get used to what they're seeing, and they get used to hearing what they're taught, or what's being brainwashed to them in society or through the news or the media, and they run with it. And then people went around confused, So it is what it is. Like I said, I mean, this is one big ass corporate America, So you just have to know what the rules are so you can go along to get along. But you got to know that there's an act and then there's reality, right? There's what things are supposed to be from a, how should I put it, a cultural, politically correct standpoint, and then there's reality, right? And those two things, to me, are like getting further and further apart, like they're diverging. What are your thoughts? Before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, do all that fun internet stuff, But yeah, no, we still here. We still doing it. What else we got going on here? Let me take a look at something else right quick. What else we got? Let's go ahead and get into some I think I said everything I wanted to say on that, like I said, I don't, I'm the, here's the thing, right? I'm the dude that sits back and I'm quiet and I laugh and I kind of joke around, but at some point, when something's inconsistent or something doesn't make sense, you got to stand up and say, hey, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. Back to the whole Asian thing, right? So I remember when I was working a few jobs ago, had a coworker of mine who was Asian, and I, you know what I'm saying? So like, you see what I'm saying? Like, if I say Asian, you don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know if the person is from India, or you don't even know if the person is brown. You don't know if they black. You don't know if they white. You can't use the other color because that race of people thinks that that's that's offensive. So you can't say that. You know what I'm saying? So like, I have to say, Bruce Lee Asian, so kind of what he looks like, right? Because I'm not going to sit here and describe every single last aspect of what someone looks like. I'm just going to say this is what this person. So anyways, long story short, work with this guy, cool dude, looked like a Bruce Lee Asian. Both of his parents from China. They immigrated over, and he was, I believe he was born in the U.S. But when we had to fill out something, it was something we had to fill something out. And while he was filling it out, I overlooked, like, it was one of those things where it was like I didn't mean to be nosy, but I looked over and he identified himself as being white. And I was like, dude, how are you white? He's like, because I'm American. And I was like, okay, well, okay, I'm American too. So can I put down? Okay, cool. So I said, how about? I said something like, I said, look, look, I'm American, so I can put down I'm white too, right? And he's like, no, dude, you're black. And I was like, at that point, I left it alone. I was like, that's very, very interesting. You know, how either of us are clearly white, you know, but but it's okay for him to do it, but I can't, right? So little shit like that, like I be paying attention to, you know. I'm like, okay, I see. I just take a little note of it, and now I know moving forward, you know, how things are, right, in this world. And right now things are confusing. Things are confusing because we make it confusing, right? Things are confusing because, you know, we make it confusing. And then when you're not of a race of the dominant society, you kind of get told what you are, right? That's why, like I don't think black people ever came out and said, look, we're black. Like, no, like that didn't come from us, right? Like white people or white society said, nah, you guys are black, right? But you know how that shit, isn't that interesting? How the darker you are, the less you can say what you are. You have to accept what they tell you, but you can't identify, but you can't classify anybody else up, right? It's like, but basically it's a caste system. Like in this country, we have a soft caste system, you know? Like no one ever came to us and said, hey, look, how do you guys collectively want to be identified? You know? And then, like I said, it's like, to me, it's like, if you really think about this shit, if I gotta be a color, why doesn't everyone else have to be a color? Right? And if that's the case, and if I start doing what everyone else is doing, now all of a sudden I'm the one that's weird, right? So whatever. I like to just call that out and just point it out just to get that off my chest, you know, because it's been something that was kind of, it's always been something that I had to like deal with, you know, and it is what it is. But yeah, let's go ahead and get on to some, let's go ahead and get into some DFS talk right quick. I'm gonna pull up my DFS screen right quick. What DFS at? Here we go. I'm gonna pull this iPhone back up. Let me go ahead and move that. Here we got. Here we go. Here we go. Boom. All right, let's take a look at baseball, man. I'm up in this joint struggling, man. Like I'm down to my last couple dollars. Man. I'm trying to check out, man. Or I'm trying to tap out. Oh, make sure you guys can see this. Here we go. Yeah, I'm trying to tap out, man. So let me take a look at some of this, man. Let's see what I'm gonna do today. Let me see, what am I going to do today? I'm doing MLB tiers June 8th. Man, I'm just gonna do what I've been doing before. You know what? I'm gonna try something different. So before in the past, I used to look at the value category and the salary category of all the players. And I'm not gonna do that today. Today, I don't want to look at consistency because consistency is not efficiency. Consistency, like you can be consistently terrible, right? So if you just pick someone that's been, that might not be a bad idea actually. I have an idea. Let me look at the average. Let me look at the projection. And then let me look at, you see right quick. Let me look at the projection and then let me take a look at the who's the most consistent, right? So, for example, Christian Yelich. You guys, let me go and make this bigger so you guys can see it. So I'm not looking crazy. There we go. There we go. Boom. All right. So here we go. So Christian Yelich is averaging 9.6. That's his projection. I want his average. That's what I want. How do I get the average? Okay, batting average, fantasy. I want his fantasy point average. Damn it, Line Star. Okay, RBI, home runs. No, I don't want that. I'm looking for his average. It's interesting how they don't give you the average. So let me go ahead and go back to DraftKings. Let me go ahead and hit DraftKings right quick. Here we go. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. So DraftKings will give me the average fantasy points per player, right? That's what they will give me at least. It's funny how Line Star doesn't do that. So maybe I'm on to something, people. Maybe I figured it out. All right. Yeah, I ain't figured shit out. But anyways, here we go. So it's funny how DraftKings will give me the fantasy points per game average, but Line Star doesn't. See, they give you everything else. They give you value, salary, projected, daily matchup, batting order, loved, hated, sort by scored, consistent, chat, alerts, ownership, salary changes, salary comparison, floor value, ceiling. Okay, let me go to advanced. On base percentage versus. See, I don't want all that. I just want the fantasy points per game. That's all I fucking want. All I fucking want is the fantasy points per game. So Line Star, that to me is a red flag. Why aren't they giving me the fantasy points per game? See, they're giving you like pieces of shit, right? They'll say 11 points. So they're saying right here for Christian Yelich, they're saying he has 11.5 fantasy points per game in 2 big favorite games. But now I want the season. I want the season average. Yeah, they doing some funny style shit right here. Right? They're giving me plate attempts, stats. So then I get fantasy points per plate attempt, but they're not just giving me home run per plate attempt, fantasy points per plate attempt. Yeah, they're not giving you the they're not giving you the season average fantasy points. So that's a red flag right there. It's average, stolen bases, home runs, RBIs, ISO. Yeah, they're not giving you that. So that's interesting. So here we go. So I'm gonna do this. So Estrada, I believe it's Tyro Estrada, right? Yeah, Tyro Estrada is averaging 9.4 fantasy points per game. Let me see how consistent he is. How consistent is Tyro Estrada? Okay, 64% accuracy. He's 64% consistent. So I'm gonna go with that alone, right? I'm just gonna eyeball it out and say Tyro Estrada, he's second in consistency, and his overall his average is like almost a whole point higher than everyone else's. So I'm gonna go Tyro Estrada. And let's take a look at Julio Rodriguez. Tier 5. Consistency 64%. And then Luis Reyes, where is he at? He's way down here. He's a whole point behind. So I'll go Julio Rodriguez, take him. Tier 4. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., his consistency is 67%, 2% higher than everyone else. At least. But Vlad Guerrero is a whole point. So this is where it gets tricky now, right? So Vlad Guerrero his fantasy point average per game, or his fantasy points per game average is 8.2. Bobichet's fantasy point per game average is 9.3. So he's a whole point behind. But then look at Bobichet's consistency, right? He's 63%. He's 4% less consistent. Yeah, this ain't gonna work. You can't pick all the top players in each tier. That's not gonna work. Let me see what this is stupid. Why am I doing this? You got Trey Turner, 64%. But he's at the bottom. Look at that. Okay. I might mess with that. Trey Turner's 7.3 fantasy point per game average, but not that consistent. Or actually very consistent. Let me see. JD Martinez is, where is he at? And can he look at that consistency? He's 59% consistent. So and I don't think I'm doing this. This is not gonna work. Let me actually do something crazy here. I have an idea. I'm gonna look at the floor value, or not, I'm gonna look at the ceiling value, or the ceiling of all the players, and look at what they previously did. Right. So JD Martinez, last game was 0 points, but can he go from 0 to 20? And he can't. Like, the highest he went from 0 is 13. No, he went 0 to 38, April 17th. But you guys can't see that. My bad. There we go. Yeah, JD Martinez went from he went from 0 to 38. So you got to play JD Martinez. I'm picking all the number one. This ain't gonna work, but whatever. Let's take a look at Freddie Freeman, tier 2. Freddie Freeman, tier 2. 21.29, 21.8. So his ceiling is 21, but can he go from teens? Can he go from like mid-teens to 20s? Has he done that? He has. He's done it there. Well, let me go Freddie Freeman. Let's see, tier 1. Let me see right quick. Tier 1, 20 point. So Ronald Acuna Jr., his ceiling is 20.01. Can he decrease and then pop back up to 20? See what he does against the Mets. Excuse me. Actually, you know what? I'm not doing that. Scratch all that. This is what we're gonna do. We are going to. I just want to see who's leading the top of all of these categories here at the bottom 4. So I'm looking at. Raise this up a little bit. There we go. I'm looking at these values right here. I'm looking at sort by floor, value, ceiling, and ceiling value. So I'm looking at who's leading these categories the most. So for tier 6, it's Tyro Strada, Jose Ramirez, Kyle Tucker, right? So I'm just gonna go with Tyro Strada for tier 6 because he's leading, which was okay. I'll take that, Tyro Strada. And for tier 5, I'm gonna go. Let me see, tier 5. I'm gonna go Julio Rodriguez, Mike Trout, Ryan McMahon, Mike Trout. So I'm gonna go Mike Trout for tier 5. And then for tier 4, I'm gonna go Julio Rodriguez. You got Mike Trout. Oh, why am I still in tier 5? Come on, get in tier 4, Dre. So tier 4, we got Boba Fett, Ryan Reynolds, Salvador Perez. So we're gonna go Boba Fett in tier 4. And then for tier 3, we're gonna go let me see. Tier 3, we're gonna go. We got JD Martinez as 1, JD Martinez, Bobby Witt Jr. So we're gonna go JD Martinez for tier 3. Then for tier 2, there we go. Tier 2, let's go. Here we go. Actually, pull this down so you guys can see a little bit better. There we go. So for tier 2, we're gonna go. We got Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. So we're gonna go Mookie Betts. We're gonna go with Mook for tier 2. And then for tier 1, we're gonna go tier 1. Got Bryce Harper, Ronald Acuna. So we're gonna go Ronald Acuna for tier 1. But that's my lineup for baseball. That's how we doing it. We're just looking at who came up in the they can't identify my location. Really? Okay, got it. Okay, we good. But yeah, that's all we did for that for baseball. That's all we did. See, somebody said something. Hold on a second. Have fun in Europe. Yo, thanks, Al. Appreciate you, man. Let's see what else we got, man. Boom. Let's go ahead and look at some NBA because we got the tiers today for basketball. Right, we got tiers for basketball today. Here we go. Yeah, we're gonna do the same thing for hoops, man. Let's do the same thing. Let's look at the floor and ceiling value. So let me see for captain. Let me see. My captain, we're gonna make, let's see, we got Jokic has the highest floor value, highest ceiling, and then highest ceiling. Okay, Reggie Jackson has the best ceiling value. But now we're gonna go for hoops, we're gonna go Jokic. Damn, that's a lot of bread. Let's take a look at let me see what else is going on because I don't want to look at numbers for basketball. I just want to look at statistical categories. Let me actually look back at we go back to June 7th because I want to see what happened with the perfect lineup with that. So perfect lineup for June 7th was it was perfect lineup was Jamal Murray, Jokic, Bam, Gordon, Braun, Reggie Jackson. So let me take a look at I just want to take a look at some of these categories right quick. Take a look at the projections. Let's take a look at all of them. Let's see value. Wow, Christian Braun was a top. So Christian Braun was a top 2, top 3. Jimmy Butler, I don't think was in the perfect lineup, right? He was not. So let's take a look at projected Jamal Murray, daily matchup, Bam. I think Bam was in there, right? Yes, he was. Who else we got? Bam, consistent, Jokic and Bam. Let's take a look at floor value was Jokic and Butler. And we got Love and Jokic, Butler, Jokic, Love and Braun. So let me see. Yeah, so interesting. Here's my strategy. Here's what I'm gonna do for today for basketball. I'm not gonna do it on here right now because it's gonna take too much time. But what I'm gonna do is this. I just kind of saw something. Right. I kind of saw something. I saw everyone. So basically, when it came to the top two in each statistical category, a lot of the people, I saw a lot of the repeat names come up in the perfect list. But then when I extended it down to 3, that's when I got like the remaining people. So I'm gonna go ahead and try that out. I'm gonna try to split the categories, right? So for example, can't have 2, like if you looked at all of the statistical categories and the names I saw of the top 2 people in each category, I saw Jimmy Butler's name come up there a few times. You got to basically take one of those out, right? You can't play all the top 2 people or play all the people that showed up in the top 2 categories. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do that to come up with like 4 people within my roster. And then I'm going to extend it to 3 to try to get the other people that weren't in there, because I believe Aaron Gordon and Christian Braun, if I extended it out to look for the top 3 in each statistical category in Line Star, you know, I might get lucky, you know, but I'll let you know how I do. What else we got going on? Like I said, next week will be the final Trippin with Theobold episode for the month of June. And I'm going to Europe for 2 weeks, and then when I come back, I'm gonna do an episode about my trip to Europe. So thank y'all for tuning in. I have nothing else really coming up because I got to get packing for Europe. But you guys have been fun. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, AT is where it's at on most forms of social media, so follow me. And with all that being said, I'm out of here, folks. Peace. Yep. Trippin with Theobold.
Let's go.
Caliente.
Trippin. Yep. Trippin. Trippin with Theobold.
Trippin with Theobold.